Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a collective reading for the new moon in Aries. So because of that, I'm doing this reading with my combined deck of tarot cards and oracle cards. So you'll see a blend of both cards in the reading today. And this collective reading is, following the one that I just did yesterday, but I wanted to do two separate collective readings, one for the equinox, the astrological new year, and today the new moon in Aries, because I feel like there's so much energy, being lit up, being known, being revealed, just coming to the surface, just so much potent energy coming to the foreground that it deserved two collective readings, one after the other. And so it's interesting because there is a common card that could be the link between yesterday's message and today's message, but it's the metaphor that is coming through this reading today for the new moon in Aries is very bizarre, is very weird. It can be very literal, or it can be very metaphorical, right? And I'm tending to go to the more metaphorical side. So let's just jump into the cards, because I feel like it's going to be easier so that I can convey this in a more understandable way. So we're beginning with the Five of Swords reversed, right? This is the Five of Swords, but it came reversed. And so actually what I saw and what I heard, well, what I saw was a bunch of apples falling from the tree. And what I heard was the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. It's raining down on you, right? So it's like, it's a big message. It's something that is, it's a very simple expression, or it's a very common thing to say, right? It's like those two phrases, but they have meanings that are, if you go like beyond the surface, it's like they have profound meanings. Let me explain why I'm saying that. When I saw the apples falling from the tree, but because you see here how the heart shape with this triangle here, this was showing me an apple, right? It's like it's almost like a geometry of what an apple is, right? And it reminded me actually of Einstein when he was set under a tree, or it's known to be a fact that, when he had the insight for the theory of relativity, that he, that an apple fell from the tree over him or on his head or wherever. So that sparked him to think about gravity and all of that. And, am I correct? Was Einstein that happened, or was it Galileo? I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but the first thing that I thought was Einstein and the theory of relativity. And so I feel like even if it's not true, right, even if my ideas are mixed up, that's the message that wants to be conveyed, right? Because now it's raining down on us, the collective, some sort of insight, some sort of epiphany that wants to be clarified, that wants to be made clear, that wants to be known. Because the Sun card coming after, this has a lot in it. As much as, this is talking about an insight raining down on us, or many insights raining down on us, or, it can be just the fact that, well, to me, the fives are the individual, right? This delineates self, right? Where you are or where you're supposed to be. But it's also talking about multiple apples falling from the tree, right? It's raining down on us, the collective. And it wants to go to that image, right, of the apple falling from the tree and not falling too far from the tree. It's like you have to be standing right below the treetop so that you have the insight. It's almost like you don't have, it's like you don't have to be the tree to understand the tree. You just have to be near it, to be close enough. It's almost like you don't have to be the sun. You have to be just close enough to the sun to receive its light, right? To receive its wisdom, to receive its illumination. So it's like you, because we're talking about enlightenment, we're talking about this light bulb moment that actually it returns to that at the end. But it's almost like, I feel like this entire message today for the collective, for this new moon in Aries, is talking about like this very instant insight that happens very, very quickly. It's almost like each card is like a very quick millisecond, you know, in this span of the insight that is happening. So it's almost like it is going to burst through, it is going to come in like this very quick light bulb aha moment, right? Because you see here how these triangles are also here, right? So that's the reason why I feel like these two phrases came with this very first card, right? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, but also it's raining down on you, right? Meaning that it's almost like a wave of insight, right? It's not going to be like just one click, it's going to be multiple. It's like this chain, which is interesting because this chain reaction also came through yesterday for the equinox reading, right? And so I feel like this also has to do with the individual, right? Because this is placing each individual in the right place under the treetop or under the sun. And in astrology, the sun is also the individual, right? Also, you know, the sun from the Astrological Oracle deck came up yesterday in the YouTube portion for the equinox reading as well. So, but here is the tarot version of the sun, right? Because I feel like it wanted to emphasize the fact that, you know, each ray of wisdom or each ray of knowledge, each ray of just knowingness and consciousness, right? It's coming from something that is pouring down on us at the moment. So, you know, this could be like, you know, the solar flares, right? This literally could be the solar flares, right? So it's like if we are in the direction where the solar flares are going to hit, then we are in a sense below the treetop, right? We are very close. We are near the essence, the source, where the information about, you know, about consciousness, about illumination, about enlightenment, right? It's like that. It's like the same thing. Let's follow the example about, you know, Einstein sat on the tree or under the tree and having that apple falling on him and, you know, having that insight about a theory that changed humanity, that changed the planet, that changed history, right? This is the kind of feeling that I'm sensing here, because it is talking about like a chain reaction of insights falling on individuals, but multiple, right? It's like either this is going to be like multiple insights coming to each individual, or like a very significant and very essential insight from the source or from the sun, from the solar flares, coming to everyone at the same time, right? And I feel like this is so bizarre. This is really, really bizarre. The next card is Uranus. Let me show. So you see here how we have a circle and then we have this top part, which I often see as a crown, right? And so what I saw, the image that came through with this card, Uranus, was a pineapple. You see the play of words? There are apples falling on the consciousness of the collective right now. that are bringing insights. And I feel like it's very specifically talking about a certain kind of apple, because it's like, it doesn't want to be the pineapple as the fruit that we know, right? It's almost like it wants to play with the word apple. It's like, it's a very specific type of apple. I don't really know. It seems like it's the way that I feel like it wants to be talked about, or the symbolism that it wants to be conveyed. It's like an apple that has a crown, right? Or a fruit that has a crown. So it wants to be an apple because of the saying, because of, you know, this Einstein story, and it wants to bring that type of remembrance for the collective. But it can be just, you know, a fruit, right? A fruit meaning the fruit of the labor, or, you know, the fruit as, you know, I've heard this once and I feel like it's the most beautiful thing ever. You know, in the process of a plant growing, right? It's like the growth of a plant, the growth of a seed, which is interesting because the image of the seed is here also. From seed to becoming a tree, it's like there is this slow progress, right? There is this slow process of growth and evolution. But when a tree becomes a tree and it gives fruit, right? It's able to give back, in a sense, to the soil, right? Because the fruit contains the seed that is going to continue this process of growth and evolution, right? So, but the fruit itself, which is here, right? The fruit itself is the process of illumination of that plant, right? It's like when a plant is able to fruit or to flower, that's when it's illuminated, right? That's when the flower exudes this perfume, and when the fruit feeds the earth, right? So I feel like there's something about the crown that this fruit is wanting to give us, right? It's like feeding us with some sort of noble illumination or insight. It's like something that is very, it's like it's talking about the crown chakra. Actually, this is coming at the very end here, but it's also talking about the heart chakra. Because before it goes to the head, actually, before it goes to the head, it needs to go through the heart, right? The Ace of Cups coming after Uranus. And by the way, Uranus is a very, it's a very, let me say if I can say that word. It's a metamorphosis, right? It brings metamorphosis. It's like the shape of the thing, right? That changes, right? It is a card that changes radically something, a situation, an environment, the energy. And I want to say it's like it's talking about a specific, maybe we're talking about like, you know, many apples can fall from the tree, right? That's a reality. But it's only for those who are close enough to the source or to becoming enlightened, let's say, that they're going to perceive the apple with this crown, or it's like the ability to have the insight because your heart is being touched. So this, I feel like this is an individual experience, right? But it's also happening as this chain reaction, as this ripple effect in the collective, right? Because as I said, it's like it's raining down on you, it's raining down on us, right? So I feel like many people are ready or close enough to the sun, to source, so that they can have insights from something that would be seen as very mundane, right? It's almost like, you know, any person who, well, let's say all of us who are not Einstein, right? Or who, you know, only Einstein with the capacity that it had at the time could have the insight that he had from a very mundane experience. You see what I mean? But today, nowadays, with how this plant is growing, or how this planet is growing and evolving, as much as we as humanity, as seeds from the earth, we are growing as well. It's like not only Einstein, who was like this very oh my god, what's the word? Oh my god, I can't say it. But you know what I mean, right? It's like a very it's like an outlier, right? He was an outlier to the it's like avant-garde, right? He was ahead of its time, right? So it's like he was a pineapple in a sense. Like, you know, we could say today with the language that we know nowadays, he is a unicorn, right? Among all of the apples, he was a pineapple. I hope that this metaphor helps to understand what I'm trying to explain here. But it's like he had the crown, or he had the noble heart. Actually, this is how this wants to be talked about, right? He had a noble heart that could, because also Uranus is a very rebellious energy, right? It doesn't follow rules. So it's almost like bending the rules, writing new rules, because they are more aligned with the heart, right? Because they're coming directly from source and hitting the heart right in the center, and changing the frequency of the heart, and changing the way that we perceive mundane things, and becoming things that are able to provide us insight from the source. You see what I mean? It's like we are becoming a collective unicorn, a collective pineapple, right? Let's use, you know, the way that we understand unicorns, especially, you know, as businesses that grow up very, very fast, or, you know, those type of unicorns, right? Even the imaginative way that we perceive unicorns as something that is, you know, fascinating beyond the mundane, but something that I want to emphasize, it is coming from the mundane, right? Because it's the apple becoming the pineapple. So it's like an apple with a crown, because the crown is active. And I feel like here in this second row of 3 cards, there is something that, you know, having this noble heart, because the crown is active, therefore the insight is possible, because not only the crown is open, but the heart is open. It's like that heart is going to serve as the fertile soil where the seeds that are being given by the apples, right? Remember when I was talking about the fruit is kind of like the continuation of the tree in form of seeds, right? When the apple falls from the tree, it goes to the ground, and, you know, in this process of deterioration, it's going to become absorbed by the earth, by the soil, and it contains the seed that is going to continue. It's like it's like the way that it's like this life cycle continues, right? From this being, from the tree that today is coming through as like, it's like the source, right? The source that is there, right? It's like, unless a tree is cut, it's going to stay there for years and decades and, you know, millennia perhaps, right? So it's like the source is not going to change, but the continuation of this process is made by the fruit of its labor, in a sense, right? It's like the fruit that it provides to the earth. So, and the fruit in this sense, it's like the fruit of insight, right? So this noble heart and this noble crown, right, changes radically the way that we're perceiving some sort of very mundane thing. Because of our open heart, we're able to sow the seeds, right? The 7 of Pentacles, which was the card that opened yesterday's reading, was talking about the power of the collective, right? But also the uniqueness of the perspective of each individual set around a a table and, you know, all wanting to achieve, in a sense, a common goal. But today, what this was showing me was a bunch of seeds, multiple seeds in your hands, right? So the way that I was seeing this was, if there is something that is raining down on you, part of the collective, right? Which I feel like it's happening to many at the same time, right? So it could be, again, the solar flares hitting many people, right? All around the world, and igniting this light bulb moment, these insights. It's leaving some sort of particle, or like some sort of tangible element that is going to be the seed that wants to be sown in the hearts of many, right? It's like, because what this Seven of Pentacles is bringing to me is what is going to continue this process. So it's like what you are receiving, right, as an individual, receiving all of these insights that are pouring down on you about what illumination is, what enlightenment is, what seeking the truth or the source is, right? It has to do with the things that are meant to be passed on, right? It's like the seed that is meant to be continued, that is meant to be sown in the hearts of people who are also unicorns, who are also, you know, outliers, who are also changers, right? They change reality, right? This is why Uranus came as the pineapple, right? It's like people who are already, you know, crowned in a sense with some sort of consciousness or awareness. It's like they have their crown chakra open. And I feel like this is really, it can change many people, right? Because here, the Six of Cups, it's like the change that happens in one heart, it actually serves as, you know, inspiration, and also like a, how do you say that? It's like osmosis, right? I hope that word is right. It's like, you know, when you are just close to a person or near a person that has a very pure heart, it's like has a very noble heart, it's like your frequency is literally changed because you are near a person that is very in a higher frequency, right? Because you have been touched by these insights, and because you have a noble heart, and because you hold seeds of that process, right? It's like whomever you are near, right? This is what this is talking about. It's like, you know, one heart is able to change many, right? It's like if you plant that seed, but I feel like it's not a conscious thing. It's almost like a very subtle, sensitive experience, right? It's like these hearts will be touched, will be perceived because of the nobility, because also like it's a very different energy. It's a very different frequency, right? It's the unicorn, it's the pineapple. It's the same mundane physical thing, but it's been metamorphed, right? So touching many hearts, it changes also the thinking process. Ending this part of the reading with the Knight of Swords is what, okay, so remember when I was talking about that it starts with something very mundane that comes with an insight, but then, you know, enters the crown and goes to the heart, right? But then it goes back to the mind, right? Because this is what it's emphasizing. This is when I feel like you realize, you who I'm addressing this message to, part of the collective, right? The individual who is receiving many insights. It's like there's something that is now known, that is now seen, that is being perceived because of the ones who are also being touched. It's almost like seeing the effect that your energy, because of your own enlightenment, right? Because of your own change, because of how you have been touched in such a deep way. Your vibration is different, and your vibration is planting seeds in many hearts and seeing this effect in others. This is when you see how you have been touched, because before that it's almost like there's only allowing, right? There's only opening, there's only openness, right? There is the consciousness openness, there is the crown openness, there is the heart openness. And so I feel like here, this is when you get to see, or, you know, witness in a sense, how your mind was changed, how this realization or how this insight came to change you in such a deep way that is now changing others, right? So this is like the way that you think, or it's almost like feeling the hearts of others, and this changes how you perceive yourself as part of the collective as well, although you have been changed first and you initiated this chain effect, right? So it's like it's only when you see how others have been changed by you that you realize that you were the instigator in a sense, right? So it's very beautiful. I truly hope that this illuminates you and guides you for this new moon in Aries. And I am going to pull more cards to see where this wants to go. Also, I'm going to pull from the astrological runes. So if you want to join me there in the extended, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find the link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.